Let me begin today's video with a warning and a tutorial. Earlier, early this morning, as a matter of fact, about 8:30, I was just about dressed. A young man stopped in here, so I'm not going to waste your time. And he went to wrenching on something. It's something that needs to be mentioned about most of these GM vehicles and a lot of the new vehicles, almost anything you buy. He saw my son's the video of my son's truck, and he tracked me down somehow. I guess through maybe roaming through the roads here. And anyway, he stops in. He's almost in tears. His dad's with him, and I call him a kid, even though he was about 30 years old. And the father kind of he really sank his shoulders because the father's not all that mechanically inclined, but the son is trying to be. And you see, this is what hurts these younger people and the viewers is when YouTube kind of lies. When they're taking stuff apart, bolts come all right out, or they seemingly they're loose. The kid knew nothing about a torch. Most of these trucks, his failure was the rear end cover. It was all rotted out. And he saw the video of my son's truck where he bought the same exact fancy cover, and he went to it, and then he realized the bolts were too short, in the video, and he was trying to find out this, that, the other thing. Well, he went to take that cover off, and he didn't use a torch on the bolts, on the housing, on the old cover, and he did not knock the rust loose, so he ended up snapping off 4 bolts. Now he comes for advice. What do I tell him to do? Well, 4 bolts, I mean, if you would have snapped the first one and left well enough alone, the cover would probably, you could probably put the cover on. But he snapped off 4 of them, and I said, look, those bolts are a hardened steel. Really, I said, you're going to have to take the rear end out and take it to somebody that has a little special talent like me, or just get another rear, which I said that would probably be your cheaper choice. So there was some tears and some misery. Okay, now the point of my video is, you see, I screwed myself. This truck is sat, it came, after I got it running back from the other shop, it was a turd. Okay, it was rusted everywhere, bumper to bumper. There was stuff that was wrong because of rust. Now, you've seen my other videos of this truck. Okay, it sat here since April 6th. Okay, and just about on her rebirth day in 2017, which is today, I just got her running again. I was so upset myself, I almost snapped at that kid and his dad, especially early this morning, because I had this girl on my brain. I've got so much money and time in this truck. I'm so broke from it. I can't pay attention. I hate to use cliches like that, but anyway, the humorous point is I screwed myself. And as I thought about it, I was messing around a day and a half. This truck just would not start back up. I had crank, I had power at the coils, I just did not have spark. When you guys are monkeying around, okay, here on YouTube, and you're trying to find a problem like no spark on a Silverado, it ran and all of a sudden, or it starts stalling, you have stalling issues, this is your coolant temperature sensor. And I relocated mine down in the back because I'm going to put some decent gauges, okay? I don't know what the true temperature of this engine was, okay, but I'm not getting the digital. I'm an analog guy. Remember, I flew aircraft, and then we're going to talk about that for a minute. I want to know exactly what temperature that motor's running at by a reliable, like an autometer gauge, which it's another $300 proposition. And I want to get a trans temperature gauge. Listen, I screwed myself. This is all it was. I didn't have to go. Once I realized that I had crank, I had everything else. Oh, and the Dorman cable, the new Dorman cable broke. The trans shift cable, the ears as I put it in, the ears broke right off of it. I mean, you just can't make this shit up. And then that little white collar that you pull back when you snap them together, that broke right in my fingers. I can't win, okay? And then I'm going to jump down Bondi and Dan Bongino. Remember I told you about pissing down my back and telling me it's raining? And Cash, I should call him Cashless Patel there, that piece of shit. Lying that there's no Epstein list. Let me tell you turds something, okay? Why was JetBlue, and the interview I went to was with Virgin Airlines that had, they were looking for special use pilots. I interviewed for a job which is called a confidential pilot. Now, let's not give a confidential pilot You're basically a charter pilot. You have an allegiance to whatever. They get guys that are either military, ex-military, or still flying for the military, or say you're like me, like one of them. What do you call it? You're special forces basically. You're kind of an invisible guy. They want you mature with kids and a family and responsibilities, because when they lure you in, it's a fucking trap. And I smelled the trap right away when they were telling me, well, I would be going off to an island off the coast, and you'd be flying to another island down near Barbados. I know goddamn well that's Sodom and Gomorrah down there. You know when they're telling me, well, there's going to be special guests and there's going to be things going on in the aircraft, and we have the cockpit cordoned off. You're just the pilot. You just deliver the people. And they know pilots like us, the special forces. We can fly through anything, even the hail of bullets that almost killed me. You can go through that shit. Okay, I mean, not all the time. I mean, I'm not fucking Superman. That incident wiped the S right off my chest. I was pretty cocky. Other couple other descriptives for me in my younger age. I mean, I still have balls. Don't get me wrong. I'm not a neutered house cat like Bongino and Patel there and Bondi to tell me there was no fucking client list when they're telling me, oh, well, there'll be clients, but there'll be nameless clients. They tell you how many passengers because you have to disclose that on your flight log, your report when you file your flight log, you know your flight plan. And sometimes the names were in sealed envelopes. I didn't get to see them. If there's a problem, NTSB gets to see it. You just have to have a disclosure. How many males, how many females are on board, that sort of stuff. When you file your flight plan, not to mention your fuel, your destination, your stops. That's all part of being a legal pilot. But you can't tell me when they're fucking interviewing from JetBlue and that to go fly to these special little whorehouses that there's no client list. You know what, Cash Patel? You fucking pull that bullshit with somebody else. You don't pull it with Uncle Dutch. Okay? You don't pull it with this Marine. Thanks for watching my videos, guys. And just so you know, they're lying to you, as usual. Thanks.